The world's glaciers are melting like never before, and a new report shows ice in Switzerland is shrinking at record rates. As Tina Kraus reports, experts say climate change is speeding up the destruction.
This may look like just a field of ice and snow, but glaciers are so much more. They provide water for drinking and irrigation for millions. And scientists warn the world's glaciers are quickly disappearing.
It was really shocking and surprising to see how much melting actually can occur, because we've seen many years with strong melting in the last decade.
Experts found glaciers in Switzerland lost 6% of their volume this year alone, shattering the previous record. Scientists blame the destruction on climate change.
We had the very warm summer with continuous heat waves.
And say if greenhouse gas emissions keep rising, 90% of glaciers in the Alps could vanish by the end of the century. A scalding summer across Europe wiped out a glacier in Germany, leaving the country with just 4. Climatologists say the rapid reduction is a global crisis. Researchers estimate Greenland will lose 120 trillion tons of ice over the next 80 years. And in Chile, tourists captured the moment a nearly 700-foot glacier collapsed into a river earlier this month during one of their warmest winters yet. Tina Kraus, CBS News.
Climate change is causing the world's glaciers to shrink 5 times faster than in the 1960s, according to a study in the journal Nature. Still ahead at noon, if you love chocolate, stick around for an easy step-by-step recipe from the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.